Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. I wanted to speak about the concept of militant democracy. Maybe you've heard this term, actually, and I think it is very important for you, the Hungarians, as well, because the militant democracy concept is the general concept in the left liberal elites, let's say, to restore the democracies in the EU member states. I will show you some publication about it. And Poland, after December 2023, is the testing ground of this concept of militant democracy. First thing, September 2024, it is almost 1 month after the illegal detention on Mr. Marcin Romanowski in Poland, the asylum seeker from Poland who get the international protection here in this beautiful country. And the Prime Minister Donald Tusk with the Marshal of Polish Sejm and Marshal of Polish Senate met with some legal experts, so legal professors, academics, who openly supported the government, the Donald Tusk government. And our Prime Minister said these very important words. If we want to restore constitutional order, the foundations of liberal democracy, we encounter a situation every day in which we have tools that do not allow us to repair reality. I am talking about legal tools prepared by our predecessors, whose intention was to destroy this order, not to strengthen or build it. Very important thing. Today, we need to act in terms of militant democracy. We will probably make mistakes or take actions that, according to some legal authorities, will be incompatible or not entirely compatible with the law. But nothing exempts us from acting every day. So our Prime Minister openly said that the government is not going to act in the basis and within the law. According to our Constitution, Article 7, all legal bodies or authorities can grant only if the law allows to do it, like in every democratic and rule of law states. He said that, okay, come on, we are going to actually do something against the law, but we have very special moment. Why it is important? Because the president is not from our party, right? This is what's the term when Andrzej Duda was the president. So our government decided not to find the conclusion with the president, but actually do everything against the law. The militant democracy concept is not the new one. This is the concept created and described by Karl Lewandowski in 1937. He was an American political scientist who was refugee from the Nazi Germany. According to Lewandowski, he emphasizes that democracy cannot become a Trojan horse through which the enemy enters the city. It means that after I will explain the exact sense of the militant democracy, but I wanted to show you what was the development of this concept. Andras Shajo, the former judge of the European Court of Human Rights, the very well-known professor of the Central European University founded by George Soros. He was one of the most important legal scientists and lawyers who supported and developed the concept of militant democracy. You have some publications. Militant rule of law. Look, this is 20th December of 2023. So the day when the Donald Tusk government decided to take over the public media with the police and the security with force. Andras Sajo, Militant Democracy 11 International Publishing, that was the publication from 2004, and as well some of articles which were published in the American legal newspaper. Andras Sajo and Adam Bodnar. Adam Bodnar was the first Minister of Justice in the government of Donald Tusk, very close related to Andras Sajo. Andras Sajo was his teacher. When Bodnar finished his studies, he started the LLM program on the Central European University in Budapest, and he treated himself as the person, let's say, who is going according to the teach of Mr. Andras Sajo. It's like Professor Sajo Intellectual Army, because he is the member of Andras Sajo Intellectual Army. He openly said it in 2019 during the meeting with Sajo, with Professor Ewa Łętowska, former ombudsman and former judge of the Polish Constitutional Tribunal. And he said that this is the part of this article from Oko Press newspaper. When he said that Orban's reaction to this independent university show how accurate this name was. The institution established to shape civil society in accordance with the ideas of George Soros and Karl Popper had to change its headquarters and move from Budapest to Vienna. So he openly said it during the meeting. Remember that this time Adam Bodnar was the Polish ombudsman, and he gave even the medal. He honored Mr. Sajo 2019. So he's very important. The concept of militant democracy was the background of the all legal actions of Adam Bodnar. Militant democracy. Tomasz Kontsevich, one of the professors, who were very interested, and he developed the concept of militant democracy in Polish legal newspaper. I want to show you that. Well, actually, Tomasz Kontsevich is one of the most. He's very involved in supporting the government, actually, right now in Poland. When we have the elections, he openly. Presidential elections, he openly said that it will be a tragic for the Polish society and for Polish nation when Karol Nawrocki, so the opponent of Rafał Trzaskowski, get the presidency. So, militant democracy. Look how Tomasz Kontsevich understands the militant democracy. The state cannot wait to intervene defensively until a political party takes power and begins to introduce new orders that are inconsistent with the current constitution. When the threat to democracy is sufficiently documented and real, action must be taken here and now. So the state needs to use all the power, all legal measures to destroy the movements, the political parties, and let's say the associations who can be danger for the democracy, let's say. And according to this part of article, he said that okay, we should, for example, banning anti-democratic parties or banning the marches. We have very famous march, Independent Day in 11th of November every year. So he said openly, we should delegalize. To ban this kind of movements because of the militant democracy. So in fact, the militant democracy is the measure to destroy, to limit the freedoms and rights of the citizens granted in the Polish constitution. Look at this publication. This is Transition 2.0, Re-establishing Constitutional Democracy in EU Member States. The publication, the book, around 600 pages, published by the Max Planck Institute, and the publication was financed by the German government. And Mr. Adam Bodnar is one of editors. Very important book because it is the map how to use the measures to re-establishing the constitutional order. According to the authors of this book, Poland, Hungary are in the situation like in German Nazi after war, or like in 1989 with no rules. That was actually the rotten state, right? So we need to use we need to create the doctrine what to do to re-establishing the constitutional order. Transition 2.0, this is the interface of Transition 2.0 is a project about the future. Its central questions is as follows. Assume that the current governments in those member states on one day defeated in elections to the benefit of democratically and rule of law-oriented political parties, okay? So look at this state. We have only the democratic parties, and the another way they are populists, they're the conservative, populist, fascists, and so on. So we need to find how to re-establish after losing the election by the governed party. There are many very interesting articles in this book, published by the American authors, Hungarians as well, Germans, Polish academics, and I wanted to show you the part of the article published by Mr. Mirosław Wyrzykowski. Mirosław Wyrzykowski was the teacher of Adam Bodnar. He promoted his PhD thesis at the University of Warsaw. Mirosław Wyrzykowski is a former judge of the Polish Constitutional Tribunal and very important person in European Union commissions and European Union, the Court of European Union as well, because he was one of person who decided if Polish government after 2022 could appointed his judge, actually, because he blocked all this kind of actions. Look at the very important part, because in this article, Mr. Mirosław Wyrzykowski, Professor Mirosław Wyrzykowski, said that the situation in Poland 2023 is very bad in many areas. Judiciary Council, the Constitutional Tribunal, judges, prosecutor office, public media, and so on and so on. He said, okay, we have actually some ideas that we should, remove all judges from the Constitutional Tribunal in Poland and elect a new one. He said, okay, that's very interesting position. I think this is a good idea. There is a very important part of the article, and he said that because we have the judges appointed after 2017, so after the reform of the Judiciary Council, it means that actually we should abolish them. Imagine, in the democratic state, they want to just to remove judges because they were appointed after 2017 in the democratic state of law. And the most funny thing, actually, in the end of this article, he wrote something, how to say it, evil. I think this is a good idea. This is a good thing. The higher loyalty to the constitution is an argument that legitimizes extraordinary measures, including when their legality may be in dispute. The dispute will continue uninterrupted, and it will take place within the framework set by the dogma of the various legal disciplines. The end result, however, will be the creation of the new dogmatics, part of which will be the assumption that one must choose between lesser or greater evils. It means that Mr. Wyrzykowski, the teacher of Adam Bodnar, said, we, the lawyers, academic, the professors, should create the new doctrine to prove and to show that all actions made by the government to re-establish the constitutional order, it means to take over the institution, will be not against the constitution. So we need to build a new doctrine that if the government do something against the statutory law, it means that it is not against the constitution. He openly said it. That's our law. Lawyers. If you have, and we had in Poland after the presidential election, a few professors with very famous names who said, okay, elections are elections, but in fact, the Marshal of Polish Sejm, he has no duty to take the oath from the new president. It means that he can take the power of president to sign some acts and everything will be okay. That was, they openly said it in the television. Mr. Marek Safian, the former judge of the European, the Court of European Union in Luxembourg, Andrzej Zoll, the former president of the Polish Constitutional Tribunal, and many others. And how about Adam Bodnar? Because this publication was issued in December 2023. So just after Mr. Bodnar became a Minister of Justice. And he wrote something interesting. Look at this part. One sec. Sorry. He explained that because we don't have the statutory law, actually, we need to use the European Union law or international law to make something in our in Poland, for example. So if we have the statutory law, we can just use the international, I don't know, the judgment of the Court of Human Rights or the EU court, because we don't have our president. And he said, this is necessary due to the requirements of EU law and the case. This is requirement EU and the case law of the European Court of Human Rights. But transitional justice mechanism will also be important. transitional justice mechanism will be important. What is transitional justice? Because he explained that actually they need to start, they need to use the whole force, the whole prosecutor offices and secret services to use against the opponents, the political opponents, right? And when you look at that's only the part of the actions made by the Polish government after December 2003. Look, the forceful entry into public media and takeover by force, television signals shut down. This was the beginning of the government, the beginning of Donald Tusk's government. Unlawful removal of National Prosecutor Dariusz Braski from his official duties, January 2024, so the next step. Suspension of payments from the state budget to the Constitutional Tribunal and the National Council of the Judiciary. They wanted to switch off the constitutional bodies because they were, let's say, they were not nominated by the government. Removal of judges from adjudicating the district court in Warsaw. Some judges were just like pushed out from the cases. Suspension by the Minister of Finance of payments to the largest opposition party, Law and Justice, despite the decision of the State Electoral Commission. Non-recognition by the government of the rulings of the Supreme Court and the Constitutional Tribunal. They just openly said, very famous case, September 2024, with the Supreme Court said that Mr. Barski, who was the public state prosecutor, was removed illegally. And they said, this is not the judgment of the Supreme Court. We are not going to do this. Initiation of criminal and disciplinary proceeding against judges, including the first president of the Supreme Court, Professor Małgorzata Manowska, and prosecutors. And the same, the criminal prosecution of the political opponents of the new government. Many famous cases, actually. Mr. Romanowski is the international famous one. But actually, I think almost every week we heard that the prosecutor is going to put some charges against the former prime minister, against the member of the party, former minister or vice minister, and so on. So it is just everyday situation in Poland. And the last one, attempt to block the swearing swearing of the president of the Republic of Poland. And that was one thing too much, in my opinion, because the government is not very popular right now in Poland, and this kind of action will be directly against the democracy and against the decision of the voters in Poland. So they wanted to do it, but the Marshal of Sejm said, okay, I'm not going to go to the jail, after. So I will, he appointed the Sejm, and Senate, and he took the oath from the president. So actually, that's all. The concept of dilettante democracy is being forced in Poland right now. So this is the testing ground. Look at this, try to understand what was the background of this, because Donald Tusk did not mention about militant democracy because he found this idea. It was the concept developed by many people and many years. And so I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you.